So, have you ever won a bidding war for, say, a house or maybe a really big freelance gig, only to immediately get this terrible sinking feeling in your gut?
Oh, like that sudden panic of, wait, did I actually just massively overpay for this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got exactly what you wanted, but the victory suddenly feels like a total trap. So welcome to today's deep dive, where we are unpacking the 2020 Nobel Prize in Economics.
Right, which was awarded to Paul Milgrom and Robert Wilson.
Yeah, and we're exploring the fascinating world of auction theory to basically show you why winning a bid can sometimes be a complete disaster and how to know exactly when to just walk away.
Well, we usually assume auctions are pretty straightforward, right? I mean, someone sells an item, people bid, and the highest number just takes it.
Right, which makes sense if I'm buying a vintage watch. I know exactly what it's worth to me personally.
Exactly, but that core assumption gets really flawed when the item's true value is a total mystery. And that brings us to Robert Wilson's concept of common value.
Okay, so common value. That means the object has roughly the same actual value to everyone, but everyone's estimate of that value is completely different.
Right. Think about bidding on an oil field.
Hmm.
Nobody actually knows how much oil is down there. So say four companies analyze the field and their internal models guess 100, 120, 150, and 200 million.
Oh, wow. So obviously the company bidding 200 million wins the rights.
Yeah, but statistically, they probably only won because their model was just the most aggressively wrong.
Wait, really? So they aren't actually the victor? They're just like the most delusional buyer in the room, totally blinded by the fear of losing to their competitors.
Exactly. That is the classic winner's curse. And, it happens everywhere, especially in everyday business.
Like with government contractors or even freelancers pitching for a project where the lowest bidder wins, right?
Yeah. If you win simply because you offered the absolute basement price, you've probably just massively underestimated the actual scope of work.
So you essentially just won the right to work at a huge loss. That's brutal.
It is. I mean, we see this in corporate acquisitions all the time, too. A company gets into this heated bidding war to buy a competitor. They pay a massive premium just to beat out a rival.
And then they spend a decade trying to recoup the lost capital because the target company was never actually worth that much.
Precisely. So the real trick is knowing how companies avoid overpaying.
Hmm.
You have to learn how to dodge the curse.
Right. So if our natural instinct is to push harder just to win, what's the tell that we should back out?
You have to pay close attention to the silence. If you're bidding on a house or a business contract and all the experienced players suddenly drop out, you really need to pause.
Oh, I see. You have to ask yourself, what do they know that I don't? Did they spot some structural flaw or, I don't know, a regulatory risk that I completely missed?
Exactly.
Yeah.
In those situations, refusing to win and just walking away from the table is actually the most profitable move you can make.
Wow, yeah. Letting someone else absorb the winner's curse is a massive victory in itself.
Right. But we can't just rely on everyone walking away, obviously, or markets would totally collapse.
True. If human instinct just constantly leads us to overbid or panic, we have to engineer better rules.
And this is exactly where Paul Milgrom and Robert Wilson earned their Nobel. They proved that markets need to be meticulously designed to help participants make smart, informed choices.
So the big example here is telecom companies bidding on mobile radio frequencies, right?
Yes, because they don't just need one single frequency. They need a whole puzzle of compatible frequencies across the country to make a network actually function.
Right. And if you run that as a traditional closed-door auction, it's an absolute disaster. Companies just panic.
Oh, completely. They might win a frequency in New York, but then lose the connecting one in New Jersey, which leaves them with this isolated, basically useless piece of the puzzle.
And to compensate for that massive risk, they either underbid or they overbid and just pass those financial losses directly onto you, the consumer.
Exactly. So instead of a blind free-for-all, Milgrom and Wilson designed what's called a simultaneous multiple-round auction.
It's such a brilliant mechanism. Instead of bidding blindly on individual pieces one by one, all the frequencies are optioned at the exact same time over multiple open rounds.
Yeah, and because it's simultaneous and totally open, a telecom company can actually see what everyone else is bidding in real time.
So it's kind of like a fantasy football draft where everyone's picks are on a massive board rather than just throwing blindfolded darts.
Right. If I see a competitor suddenly drop out of the New Jersey bidding, I gain vital new information.
So you can immediately pivot, drop your New York bid, and adjust your entire strategy before the auction even closes.
Exactly. It completely neutralizes the winner's curse. That transparency lets companies assemble what they actually need without the fear of blind overpaying.
Good rules really do turn a chaotic, ego-driven war into a hyper-efficient system. Price isn't just some naturally occurring number.
No, it's a direct product of the rules we invent. And in a poorly designed game, the winner is usually just the person who worst understood the risks.
Which brings up a really fascinating frontier. We've seen how we can engineer financial markets to prevent chaos when selling oil or radio waves.
Right, but how do you design a market where money actually isn't allowed to be the deciding factor?
Exactly. Like, how do you allocate limited spots in a top-tier university? Or, with even higher stakes, how do you match patients with life-saving donor organs?
That requires a completely different set of rules. You have to build a matching market that solves the puzzle without any price tag at all.
It's definitely something for you to ponder the next time you're caught up in the heat of a bidding war. Remember, winning isn't always the actual prize. See you on the next deep dive.